Spring is right around the corner, and with it comes new opportunities for saving money.
In this video, we'll show you exactly what we do every spring to maximize our savings. Now, we're going to give you a lot of information in a short period of time, so you might want to grab a piece of paper or a pad of paper and a pen and take some notes.
In case you don't know us, I'm Larry.
And I'm Hope.
And we're from Under the Median, where every week we bring you videos on practical frugality. We're going to start out with 2 viewer shout-outs. We met Tim over at one of our local grocery stores. Tim watches us regularly, and so does his wife.
The second shout-out goes to Matthew Fisher, whose official debt-free day was on April 4th. We have been following Matthew's journey and cheering him on. And Matthew, we are so excited for you and your family. Happy debt-free day.
Way to go, Matthew. The first item on our agenda is to clear debris out of the way on outdoor items. Now, over the winter, your garden area might have a bunch of dead leaves and dead grasses and who knows what all. And it's a good time to start cleaning that up before growing season comes into play.
It's always good to know the last projected frost day in your area. Here where we are in the Midwest, it's considered probably around the 15th of May when it's really safe to go ahead and plant some outdoor garden items like vegetables. However, we have discovered that we can push that back a little bit and maybe do some lettuces and also some spinach earlier than that. And then we also direct sow some herb seeds. Now, if you've watched for any length of time, you know that I am not what I would call a really prolific gardener. I had some success at our old house. At our new house, it had a lot of shade. I've not done as well. However, I do have a nice herb bed up against the house, which actually does make it easier to go ahead and sow seeds before that last day of frost, because it's usually 4 to 5 degrees warmer when you get up next to the foundation of the house, and usually they're pretty safe to go ahead and plant. And actually, an Under the Median viewer sent me some herb seeds that she'd saved for me.
Spring is a good time of the year to wash your windows. With the moderate temperatures, you can open up your house and not worry about either heating or air conditioning losses. And it's, the sun is out longer now, it's brighter. You might as well be able to see clearly through all of your windows.
We call this kind of like the golden hour in our house. It's that period of time between when you turn the furnace off and when you have to turn the central air on. It's that time where you can really dig in and maximize your energy savings.
If you have aluminum siding on your house, it's a good time of year to wash that down, clean that all up.
It's also a great time of the year to go ahead and wash and wax your car. Now, here in Illinois, we have a lot of road salt during the winter, especially if it's been like a really snowy or perhaps an icy winter. A lot of that road salt will get on the undercarriage of your car and will start to rust it out. So this is the perfect time to get everything all washed off and to apply that protective coat of wax.
And on that first wash of the season, I like to get under there with the hose and really spray off that undercarriage, get underneath your fenders and around the wheels so you get that salt out of there.
As the weather starts to warm up, you need to begin to go ahead and think about getting your warm weather clothing out of storage and putting it in place in the drawers in your closet, hanging up in the closet, or putting it in the drawers of your dresser. But before you put those winter sweaters and things away in storage, give them a good look over. Are they frayed? Are they pilled? Are they ripped? Is there anything about them? Perhaps they hung in your closet or sat in your drawer for 6 months during the winter season and you've never worn them. That is a super good sign that maybe you need to pass it on to someone else, either sell it or donate it.
And that dovetails nicely into our next point, and that's, of course, spring is a good time to spring clean. Now, along with spring cleaning, and that would be deep cleaning each room in your house, it's good to go through and, as you did with your clothes, look at items and see, do I really need this anymore? And you can start making 3 piles. One is a pile to sell, one is a pile to donate, and the other is a pile to throw out. One of the things that we have in our area, it's a kind of an annual thing for some neighborhoods, is that neighborhoods will allow you to just throw anything out to the curb and then somebody comes by and picks it up. This would be large pieces of furniture, things you don't normally put in the weekly trash pickup. And this affords you an opportunity to peruse those neighborhoods and maybe look for some items that you can fix up, clean, reupholster, and maybe repurpose. These are items that can be sold and you can have a little extra money in your wallet from them.
And speaking of selling things and having extra money in your wallet, this is a great time, the perfect time, in fact, to begin planning your garage sale. For years and years, Larry and I had an annual garage sale. We had everything divided into specific areas in our garage. So we had the Christmas area. We had the area that had like kitchen items. Then we had clothing. Everything had a specific area. We even had signs that hung from the ceiling of our garage.
Like a department store.
Yes, exactly. There are ways that you can arrange things for your garage sale that can make people want to take their time strolling through your items, and they will actually buy more. We had really great signage that I made, and people would watch for those signs every single year. Larry, we've made almost $40 so far.
Wow.
Yeah. We made an average of $500 on a one-day sale for years and years.
Shelby, what do you think? What do you think, Hopi?
Woo, careful,
I think I'm glad it's over. Tell us in the comments section, have you ever had your own garage sale? And would you say that it was successful and worth it for you to have that 1 or 2 day sale? Let us know.
Now, returning to some home maintenance items. This is a good time of year to clean out the gutters. You want to make sure you do this before the heavy rains start. I'll usually go up with a bucket and a trowel and just get all that gunk out of the gutters that's been accumulating over the winter time. You don't want a downspout clogging up in the middle of a heavy storm. We had this happen one year. In fact, we forgot to put a downspout on. It was a critical downspout, and we had the basement flooded because that water went right down our foundation into the basement, all over the carpeting and all over the floor. It was a mess. It took us about 2 weeks to completely clean up from that little baffo.
You have to remember that the problem with debris and downspouts is more than just something clogging your downspout. It's the fact the water's going to go somewhere. And for us, that's right up against the foundation.
Along with some of your other outdoor activities, you might want to check your air conditioning unit, especially if you have central air. Go out and see, have there been some weeds growing around it? Does it have leaves and debris that are clogging the vents? You want to make sure it can breathe and you can get intake and outtake air very good out of that unit. And it's a good idea to have a professional look over your system. We have a professional come 2 times a year, once in the fall and once in the spring, to look over the furnace and air conditioning units.
This is also, by the way, once every 3 months, you want to make sure that you are changing your filters on your central heating and air conditioning systems. This next item is something that Larry actually did today.
Well, one of the things you want to do now that we're transitioning into spring temperatures, you might want to start putting away some of your winter tools, like your snow blower, your shovels, snow brushes that you keep in your car. Well, today I put away all of our shovels. I put them back in the attic where they belong, and they're going to stay there until next winter season.
The other thing that Larry does when he's putting these shovels and all that stuff away from the winter time is that he gets out the lawnmower, starts it to make sure it's going to start for when we need to start mowing the lawn. Any extra lawn tools like edgers or weed whackers, anything like that, he tests those, makes sure that he has plenty of the, what do you call that, ribbon
String.
stuff? String. The string.
For
you can
it.
tell I don't do this at our house. Larry does this stuff. The string that goes with the weed eater, make sure he has plenty of that on hand, and decides whether we need to take the lawnmower in to have the lawnmower sharpened or not. No, we do not sharpen our own lawnmower, but the reason we bring that up is that we had used the same lawnmower maintenance company for years and years. Larry had called and they said, it's like, 6 weeks to get in or something ridiculous like that. It was a long time. And he said, I'm going to call around. We found a new place, guys. It pays to shop around. The new place, it's very convenient to get in and out of. They got us in right away, and it was half the price of what the other place was charging us, and they did a great job.
And they were only about 1.5 miles from the home, so they were very convenient. We'll use them from now on. But you want to make sure that you're ahead of the game. The idea is get ahead of all this so that when the grass starts growing, there's your mower. It's all ready to go. Make sure you have plenty of gas on hand for it, and so on.
Go ahead and turn on the outside spigots while you're out there, as long as that threat of frost has passed. And get out the hoses, check the hoses to see if there are any cracks in them. You want to avoid waiting until the last minute in order to start replacing this stuff, because you'll wind up paying full price and maybe even an inflated price if you're looking for something and you are in a hurry.
Make sure you have plenty of leaf bags. Once again, there's quite a bit of spring cleanup you'll need to do, so make sure you just have plenty of supplies on hand.
As soon as it warms up to where it's tolerable, turn the furnace off.
I did that last night.
It's
Turned
wonderful.
her off. Yeah, we'll probably have to turn it back on. It's a little early, but it got up to into the 80s yesterday. So I'm like, we don't need the furnace on. Well, since it got up to 80 plus yesterday, I had Hope open up some of the windows in the basement. I opened up a couple of the windows upstairs and turned on our whole house fan to bring in that air. We wanted to bring it in definitely through the basement. So you're bringing it in through the basement. That warm air is going to circulate all through the house. And then when it got cold that night, shut all the windows down, shut the fan off, and hold that heat in. That's a great way to take advantage of a warm day.
This time of year, it's good to think strategically about your energy use.
While we're talking about windows, you want to open and close them, make sure they're working okay. You know, we started out with a 1930 house. It had the old casement windows with that lead weight that counterbalanced the storm windows. And with that kind of an arrangement, we wanted to make sure the strings were going to work okay. The ropes were in good shape. If they broke, that would be a problem. And I had to change a number of those while we lived there.
When you open and close the windows, go ahead and take a damp rag and wipe down the windowsill. It will be really yucky from all the stuff blowing in against the window over the course of the winter. Wipe that down, get it nice and clean, and inspect the screens.
Of course, the springtime is a great time to get outside. Maybe you've been inside for most of the winter. It's good to get out and just feel the fresh air. Go for a walk, go for a bike ride, spend some time in the park, go on a picnic, but get outside and enjoy this warm weather.
While you're checking things around your house, remember, you've probably been drying items, drying your laundry inside all winter long. It is time to check your clothesline, tighten those lines if you need to, and make sure that you run across them with something to clean them off, because they too will be yucky from stuff falling on them all winter long.
Now, another very important thing that we don't want to overlook, and we've already had a couple experiences with this already, is to make sure that you're prepared for these pop-up thunderstorms, and maybe even more than a thunderstorm this time of year. Make sure you have all of your preparations ready in your house. Are you ready for a possible short-term power outage? Do you know where the safe place in your house is if you have a tornado warning, and who to contact and how to contact other people? But make sure that you're prepared for these spring storms.
While you're checking through your emergency supplies, make sure that everything that needs to be charged is charged to 100%. So you're talking about your portable power stations, if you have those, lanterns. Larry just did all of this recently because we have not one, but 2 really bad storms within a 1-week period. So make sure you're prepared and everything is charged all the way up to 100%.
Along with spring cleaning your house, you may want to spring clean other things like your subscriptions, your paid services. Do you still need those? Are you getting the best service out of them?
This is also the perfect time of the year to make a warm weather bucket list. Is there some sort of festival that you've thought for years, oh, we really want to go to that, but we've never made it? Find out when it is, put it on your calendar, schedule it in now. Anything that you think you're going to want to do over the summer when it's really, really warm, you're getting out for family outings, make sure that you make a list of that so you're preparing for that now, because otherwise, trust us, the summer will come, the summer will go, and you'll think, oh, we didn't do any of those fun things that we really wanted to do. Put them on a list, put them where you can see them, and you'll make sure you get a lot more of them done.
This is a good time also to review your first quarter goals. Now, Hope and I just had a pretty extended meeting going over all that we've done for the first quarter of this year. How much did we spend? How much did we bring in? Did we meet our goals? And then we needed to make some adjustments because there's always adjusting that has to be done. This is a great time to do that.
We mentioned backup power outages a little earlier in the video, and that's because for us, these spring storms are a reality, and you have a lot of possibilities that your power is going to go out, sometimes maybe for an extended period of time. But whether you're in the Midwest or not, you also face that possibility, especially in the United States. We have an aging grid, which is making it so that they're saying, there might be some rolling blackouts. There may be some times when that grid is overtaxed and we're not going to be able to supply power to everyone. That's why we think it's a super good idea to have some items on hand in order to make sure that you can stay comfortable during power outages and you can power the things that are super important to you and your family. Now, if you want more information, you want kind of some ideas and a list from us on what we suggest for portable backup power, you might want to take a look at that video right over there and get prepped before the storms come your way.